Who Dat Nation? What's up? It's your friend Carter the Power. It's another Chat Sports Saints video. Go on ahead, subscribe to the channel so you'll never miss any of these videos. Let's connect on social media. I am at Carter the Power. I post all of my Saints content on my website, carterthepower.com, with Chat Sports. Yes, let's dive into it now. The latest Saints rumors. Let me tell you, our last video was such a huge hit, and we're talking about all the winners from last week's preseason game against the Vikings. None bigger than Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater, showing that they could be legit backup quarterbacks in the NFL. In fact, the Saints probably have the most versatile and talented quarterback room in all the NFL, and they proved it in this last preseason game. Also, Latavius Murry, he looked amazing. He's hardly even practiced this preseason, and those cuts against his former team were sharp, and he even showed the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, and then that Saints offensive line. Really impressed with second-round pick ERIK MCCOY. The Saints look like they made a good move to trade up to get McCoy, and right now, I would say he's the odds-on favorite to be the starter at center. So, we've done a video about the Saints and their potential record going into next year. I want your thoughts in the comments. Why not? How do you see the Saints record playing out? I did a video, and I think the Saints are going to go 10-6 and get into the playoffs either as a wild card or division winner. I still think the Falcons and the Panthers are going to be really good football teams this year. So let me know. What do you think? 10.5 has been the number in Vegas all offseason. I see the Saints at either 10, 11, hopefully not 9 wins, because that means there's a chance they're probably not going to get in the playoffs. So I want to discuss. I rolled through everything. I will tell you something, though. That Week 2 matchup against the Rams. I have never been more excited for a regular season game that is not the Falcons than that one. That revenge is going to be so sweet. Anyway, let us know in the comments. Rolling through the losers from last week's preseason game. I'm telling you, that Saints defense. Come on. What's up with that? They were outgained by 100 yards in the first half, and in the second half, it didn't get a whole lot better. They had one turnover that was a very lucky, untouched running back who just fumbled the ball right into the Saints defense hands. I want to see better effort from the Saints defense. Also, the drops on offense from Tre'Quan Smith, Jacquizz Rodgers, he dropped a 2-point conversion, and Dan Arnold giving up that pick 6. He was just juggling it and then basically handed it to the defender. You got to limit the drops. The pass interferences. Oh my God, the Saints can't get a good pass interference break. They challenged a PI call in the last game, and guess what? They lost it, even though it should have been overturned. Why can't the Saints get pass interference luck in their own building, okay? And then the fans. My goodness. Can you imagine paying a ticket and not getting to see Drew Brees and Cam Jordan and watching that defense? So yeah, go to our last video. You can find it on my website once again if you want to see the winners and losers. We just wanted to recap that to start things off. And that's the thing, people. That's why you got to subscribe to Chat Sports, because you'll never miss one of my videos. It'll just pop up on your phone and boom shakalaka. You could see chubby Bruno Mars right here giving you that important Saints info. Like, subscribe, Chat Sports, everything on social media, and check them out, chatsports.com. Now, this to me is the one player that has fascinated me the most, Andrus Peat. Now, there are rumors that he may or may not be dealt. Those have been out there. There's a lot of teams looking for a versatile offensive lineman. The Raiders, according to whodatdish.com, there might be a little bit of interest between the two. The former Stanford product has turned out to be a good, not necessarily great offensive lineman, but he is a solid NFL starter. He's not Teron Armstead, he's not Ryan Ramczyk, but he's good. And honestly, with the way passing works in the NFL, you really just need decent offensive linemen. The ball comes out so quick now, and Peat is certainly that. And the Saints also have some depth on the offensive line. Obviously picking up MCCOY. You also have Eaton that came over, and he's supposed to be a versatile interior lineman and a longtime veteran in this league. So, Peat's a very interesting piece. Let me throw this out there just really quickly, and I don't know if this could actually work out. I know he's looking for major money, and I know the Saints already have Cam Jordan and Davenport on the other side. But what about Jadeveon Clowney? Why not? Okay, we know he can produce opposite an elite defensive end. We've seen that with J.J. Watt and Clowney. Also, the Saints are in win-now mode, and I saw Davenport in the last preseason game. It left a lot to be desired. I know it was a preseason game, and I know he's only in his second year, but you gave up a lot of draft capital to get a guy who plays a very important position, that opposite end rush. You see all these great NFL teams, they get good pass rush from both sides of the line of scrimmage. So if you make a move, I think Jadeveon Clowney would be a great fit in any defense, especially the Saints. So why not? You would have to give up more than just Andrus Peat, but the Texans are desperate. I mean desperate for offensive line help. Desperate. That's the worst offensive line in the NFL, and Deshaun Watson's getting battered and bruised. Maybe. Let me just throw that out there. I'm not a salary cap guy. I don't know how all of it will work. I don't know what the Saints would have to give up, but I just want to put it out into the atmosphere. That's my put out into the atmosphere dance right there. Let's connect on social media at Carter the Power. Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Let's do it. At Carter the Power. Also on whodatdish.com, the three biggest challengers to the Saints in the NFC this year. Let's roll through who they think their top three would be. Coming in at number 3, the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, the Cowboys. I don't know about Dallas this year. We know the Eagles are going to be better. The Redskins are going to be healthier. I think the Giants, well, they're the Giants, but still, they got to be better than compared to how bad they were last year, right? Dallas doesn't have key pieces in the offseason. Obviously, Ezekiel Elliott. What are they going to do with Dak Prescott's money? If I'm a Dallas fan with all the discontinuity, I don't know how I'd feel. I'd feel just a little bit nervous. But when you look at their roster, that's one of the best in the NFL. So Dallas comes in at number 3. At number 2, a team I think will have a sharp decline this year, the Chicago Bears. Listen, the Trubisky story last year was great. And we all know about their huge coaching changes, which made their offense a lot more efficient. Defensively, they got Akeem Hicks at defensive tackle. And by the way, he was rated ahead of Cam Jordan on the NFL 100. Are you kidding me? He's nowhere close to player Cam Jordan is. Anyway, the Bears come in at number 2. And then at number 1, we have the Los Angeles Rams. Okay, week 2, we were talking about that earlier. I think the Rams are going to fall off a cliff. I really do. That was an emotional team, full of big-time personalities. I think Jared Goff will regress back to the mean. I don't like the Rams next year. I think everybody in the NFC West got significantly better. Arizona, Seattle, most notably San Francisco. So, I want to throw this out into the atmosphere. Audience question for you, Who Dat Nation. Which NFC team is the biggest threat to the Saints making the Super Bowl next year? Type C for Cowboys, type R for Rams, type B for Bears. Here's the thing. All 3 of those teams, from my view, aren't even going to make the playoffs next year. As much as everyone is hyping up these 3 teams, here are the 3 teams in the NFC you really got to look out for. The Packers. Aaron Rodgers is healthy. I think he has a huge bounce back year. The 49ers. I am all in on the 49ers. In fact, they will play the Saints this year, and I think they actually beat the Saints this year. I think San Francisco is going to shock a lot of people. I'm still on the Jimmy Garoppolo train. Yeah, he dates porn stars. Yeah, he's injury prone. Yes, we still don't know if he's played a full year. But still, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G, I'm still on that train. I think the 49ers will win the NFC West and shock a lot of people. And then the Eagles. I think the Eagles are the clear best team in the NFC East from top to bottom. That is a great roster. And as much as it pains me to say, you got to look out for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think the Falcons have a bad roster. I think they have a very talented roster. They lost their best defensive player early, Debo Jones, changed their entire defense. They lost Neal, their safety, early last year. Those were their two best coverage linebackers and safeties. Sorry, I think the Falcons are going to have a huge bounce back year, and I think them and the Saints will make the playoffs next year. So none of those three teams. I'm sorry, whodatdish.com. The Rams, Cowboys, and Bears, none of them are making the playoffs, okay? Let's go ahead and preview the next preseason game. Saints at Chargers. Oh, it's going to be a doozy. It's a 3 p.m. Central Time kickoff. 3 things to look out for. You got to go back to that Saints defense. I know everyone's talking about Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater. That is very important. Don't get me wrong. But the Saints defense has got to be better. You can't be as bad as they were. I know some of you in the YouTube comments were bad-mouthing Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, thinking, maybe I don't know about him next year. So let's have a discussion about that in the comments. What do you want to see from the Saints defense in this next preseason game on the road against the Chargers? This guy, Lil'Jordan Humphrey, he had that huge touchdown catch last week, caught the ball in traffic, amazing yards after catch. Is he a different player in practice than he is in the games? What is the deal with Lil'Jordan Humphrey? He looked amazing. Wide receiver spots is going to be very limited for the Saints. Now, we did have that very controversial Rishard Matthews retirement. What he said about the Saints in the NFL was a different story for a different day. We can have that discussion in the comments too. But Lil'Jordan Humphrey, with Matthews out of the picture, he could find his way on the Saints roster. Of course, Ted Ginn Jr. is going to get a roster spot. Tre'Quan Smith is going to get it. Michael Thomas. So you have to worry about Austin Carr and Keith Kirkwood. Those seem to be the 5 Saints wide receivers that are going to get roster slots. Do you make Lil'Jordan Humphrey room as a special teamer or make any exception? I know the Saints are normally a 5 wide receiver team, so we'll see. Something else I'm looking forward to in the postgame, just postgame comments from Sean Payton, because you don't really learn a lot from preseason. You can't really take too much away, but you do learn some. So I always listen to the postgame comments to see what Sean Payton has to say. I know Drew Brees, it's always emotional for him when he plays the Chargers. So what is he going to say after the game, if he even plays at all? So obviously the postgame comments from Sean Payton is something I'm looking forward to as well. Let's predict the score. Will Venmo, the first person to predict the correct score in the YouTube comments? Come on, bring it. 21-20, Saints win their next preseason game. I still don't understand the degenerates out there that bet preseason. Are you kidding me? Really? Preseason football? But that's it for now. Chat Sports, you guys have been fantastic. It is simple. Chatsports.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss anything. Like us on all social media. I am at Carter the Power. We will talk to you soon, okay?